Today, I'm going to talk about the topic of the feminine energy because I get a lot of questions on, Anna, can you bring a hack so I activate my feminine energy, or how can I awaken it? So today I'm given 3 hacks that applying it can start activating the feminine energy that is within you. And if right now we're not connecting it to it, what I want us to understand is that both men and women have the feminine and masculine energy. It is, if we're operating on one more than the other, it's because they are connected and associated at an unconscious level with programs that are based in fears, in repression. So then it just becomes dormant. We start to suppress that part, okay? So especially in a hyper-masculine society that we have been taught to be and conditioned, we can see this in many jobs. We can see this in the way that we operate, constantly in action, but from a place of force, struggle. That is the survival, okay? So it is, many of us women, what we have done is disconnected from this energy. Hi Sol. So many of us have this yearning to start connecting again to this feminine essence, to start connecting to our authenticity, because what makes a human being authentic is when we start uniting those energies, okay? Because when we say awakening the feminine, it is not about rejecting the masculine either. These are 2 energies that are within us, and when we start uniting them, that creates oneness, and that is unconditional love versus separation, versus rejecting one or the other. So this is about reclaiming back this energy, our power, and this is going to reflect in the way that we live our life, in our passion, in our confidence. That is what is a woman that is magnetic, is a woman that is uniting both energies. And we can sense this in the energy. It goes beyond the physical appearance. It is an energy that person emanates, and we just want to be around it, okay? And this is very connected to our heart, to our love, to our passion, and to our feminine, which is also connected to our sexual energy. So, I love this topic because when we start healing our feminine energy, which is very connected as well to our ancestral patterns with our mother, grandmother, all our lineage, the way that women related back then, and all these parts that are suppressed, when we start to heal it, when we start to bring awareness to these patterns, this is when this woman is going to start to awaken her power. And this is a woman that in the end is going to feel so much love, and because she's liberated, okay? So the 3 hacks that I'm going to give, I'm going to start with the first one. And first of all, before I give the first hack, I want you to observe in your life right now if you are more in this doing, or in this control, or over analysis, overthinking, maybe in a constant hustle. Observe in your life if you are more in this action-oriented role, or if you're more connected to this beingness, going within, more connected to your love, to your passion, to your purpose, to this nurture, to this service. I want you to see, where do you feel right now you are in your life, okay? Those that are catching on the replay, write that down, okay? And once you write that, I'm going to give you just a minute. I'm going to go to the first hack because I want to share 3 today. Okay. If we feel more connected to constantly doing, forcing, pushing, struggle, survival, or if we're more in a day-to-day in which we feel calm, in which we feel very present, in which we feel very connected to love in every action that we're taking, just bring awareness to that, okay? Because we have to see where we are in, and the present is going to reflect what the present is only mirroring your unconscious beliefs, okay, unconscious patterns. So it's like a feedback loop, and instead of ignoring it, it is actually like, okay, this is giving information about myself. My body is given information about myself. My sexuality is given information about myself. My relationships dynamics is given information about myself. What I have in the bank account is given information about myself. So everything externally is going to mirror what's happening within. And this is an opportunity for you to look within, take responsibility, and just do this work from a place of love, which is that's what the inner work is. Okay. So the number one hack that I'm going to give is connected to embracing our shadow, okay? Which is our dark feminine energy. What is our shadow? Our shadow is the part of ourselves that have been repressed, the parts of ourselves that were made wrong. And sometimes this is what has happened in your life, in your present life, when you were a child, when you were a teenager, but you also carry those codes of your ancestors. So it's also the parts that they were repressed until someone breaks that cycle, until someone breaks that pattern, okay? Because your subconscious is what's happening with you as an individual, but also what you carry in your lineage. And then there's also the collective subconscious that I'm not going to go into that right now, okay? But now talking about the feminine energy, so I focus on this specific topic, the parts that were suppressed, that were made wrong when you were connected to your feminine energy, okay? When you were expressing maybe your voice, speaking your truth, when you were connecting to your sexuality, when you were connected to living more into this, maybe feeling more free in your expression, and someone made it wrong, okay? So basically the parts that we pushed away because they were once rejected, okay? So that is the shadow, which we all have. And many of us, when we start this personal growth or spiritual journey, we just want to focus on the light. And the light is what we see. But the shadow is the unconscious, what we're not aware of. And those are the parts that are connected to our fears. And those are the parts that, when addressed, they're going to alchemize into more confidence. Because it's an energy. Emotions are energy. And what does that mean? That they can only be transformed. Okay? But when we don't address them, when we suppress it, it just stays stagnant in our body. And the way to see where we feel stuck and where it's stagnant, it's through a life, through a body, through certain situations, through how we are relating to this world. Okay? Beautiful. So the first hack that I'm going to give is for you to start acknowledging the shadow. For you to start bringing awareness to those parts that you suppressed. Hello. Hi, Cami. Hi, Lizzie. Gisa. So happy to have you. So I'm talking about the first hack connected to the feminine, which is embracing the shadow, okay? Embracing the parts that we made wrong. Embracing the parts that were suppressed, okay? So a big one here, which is going to be connected to my second hack, is the sexual energy, okay? Our sexuality. Many people associate this to the physical, but it's not only that, okay? I will go now into it. Why the sexual energy, which is the second hack, awakening that energy, is so connected as well to the first tip that I'm giving, which is embracing the shadow, the parts that were suppressed. Because connected to our sexuality, there is so much conditioning. Connected to our sexual energy, there is so much ancestral patterns. There was so much rejection. There was so much fear around it and guilt, okay? And it's interesting, no? But when we are disconnected from this energy, this is a human being that is going to feel burn out. This is a human being that is usually in survival. This is a human being that is not connected to creativity. This is a human being that even if they receive, they're not connecting it to pleasure and to love, and they're not enjoying the day to day. So our sexual energy goes beyond that, the physicality, okay? Our sexual energy is connected to our creativity. Our sexual energy is connected to abundance, to this life force energy, to the way that we create stuff, okay? Because it's connected to creation, our power of creation. Just think of a woman that gives birth, okay? Thanks to this union of a man and a woman, we give birth. That is creation. But not only that, we're creating also ideas. We're creating also projects. So our sexual energy is very linked to this creativity in the way that we are creating from love and pleasure. When we awaken it and when it's in balance. When we disconnect from it, and we tend to disconnect from it when we don't acknowledge the shadow part, which is the parts that were made wrong when we connected to that, okay? This is why many women, or they would connect to it for the male gaze, okay? This is the way that a man is going to give me attention, a man is going to love me, so I just connect to this energy to be maybe loved by a man or to grab the attention for the male gaze, not from an act of freedom, liberation, love, pleasure with her own body. It is very different, okay? So connected to that part, it is bringing awareness to those associations that we have with our sexual energy. Yes? Another way that we repress it is if I connect to this energy, I'm going to be left alone. They're going to project that I am a slut, that I am this, that I am that. So then we hide that part because we're making it wrong. But behind that, there is a fear of being rejected. Okay, that is why it's so important, the first hack that I'm giving, which is bringing awareness to those fears, which is embracing that shadow, which are those patterns, insecurities, associations around the qualities of our feminine energy. Okay, one is that the second one, which is our sexual energy. So when we start to awaken it, we're going to feel an increase in vitality. When we start to awaken it, which comes only through healing those patterns around it and emotions, it's when we're going to feel very creative. We're going to feel this passion. We're going to feel this energy of presence, of charisma, of magnetism, okay? Because that person is very connected to that power, yeah? This is why it is about, from a place of love and non-judgment, see when you in the past connected to this energy, what was projected to you? Or what story do you have around it, okay? Maybe it's a story of I have to connect to this to be chosen, or on the contrary is, no, don't show this part because you're going to be rejected. Yes, we can experience those polarities, okay? So see it. Observe as well in your body how it's reflected. It's reflected in a rigid body, very closed, because it doesn't feel safe in the openness, okay? And it wants to protect, so it closes, yes? So it's bringing awareness to that. It's also seen maybe for women, know how your menstruation is a period, because when we have a lot of pain there, I had that, and I healed that pain when I started doing this healing work. And it just automatically, it became very like my period cyclical, in a way that it would come every month on time. I didn't have those pains, and that came from an emotional work. Okay, so it's bringing awareness to that part. Okay, also seeing how you are tuned to pleasure when you receive, or from what ways are you creating, because we said and mentioned at the beginning that that we have been putting in a pedestal the masculine of this action, of this force, of this struggle, of this hard work, okay, of looking for this external validation and performance. So it is also seen when we are taking action and when we are creating, which is from our sexual energy. Where are we doing this from? Are we doing this from a place of struggle, competition? Because that is the wounded, okay, part of ourselves. Are we doing this from a place of love, purpose, service, devotion? That is a very different energy, and that is true abundance, because you can make, for example, money from a place of struggle. I'm not liking what I'm doing. I'm not connected maybe to service. I'm not truly in pleasure, and maybe, yes, I'm making money here. But that is not abundance, because it is connected to actions and a way of living and a state of being that is actually coming from fear. Yes, An abundant consciousness, which is when we heal the feminine energy, okay, it connects us to abundance, which is love, which is wholeness, which is this richness of life, of time, of energy, of service, okay. And of course, the way that you receive money is very different. It's going to come from a place of I'm enjoying it, I'm enjoying what I'm doing, I'm loving it, I feel worthy of it, versus maybe guilty or having to prove my worth. Yes, are you seeing like the differences? Because this is showing us our receptiveness, how we receive, how we relate to our feminine energy. The wounded feminine is going to feel guilty, or it's going to feel that you have to prove your worth, or that you have to do more in order to receive it. The healed feminine feels worthy just for her presence, her existence. She's connected to love, and she knows that is her superpower, because that is the energy that transforms. Okay, so just bring awareness in from what energy are you operating from, the wounded, or you're operating from the one that is fully integrated, which I wouldn't say fully integrated, because it's never fully integrated. This is a journey, and we are healing and peeling layers of the onion. No, but we're relating it from a more loving place. Let's see it, okay? This way. Okay, I'm just gonna see if there's any question. Hi, Nat. I'm missing you in my live energy. Okay. Okay, so now that you are seeing more your pattern, and if it's coming from the wounded feminine, which every human being came here to heal both energies, okay? Because in the end, those energies are going to project outside. They're going to project outside in the way that we relate to different symbols, like food, like our body, like money, like men, like women, our career, if we're connected to a mission or a purpose. Yes, so that's why this work is about going to the root cause, which is our consciousness. Yes, and from there we're creating our entire reality. But most important, that the creation outside is how we are relating to that reality. And that is a mirror of how we are relating to ourselves, okay? So, also see, connected to this second hack, the awakening our sexual energy, and how it's also very embedded with hack number 1, which is the shadow work, is also seeing the triggers that other women maybe activate within you, because it's within you. Observe where you judge. Observe when you see maybe a woman in maybe in her pleasure, or in her sexuality, or free, or in her authenticity, the parts that trigger you, okay? Because for me, triggers are really the key to wisdom. Why? Because they are a reflection of the parts that deep down we would desire to express, but a part of us makes it so wrong that instead of bringing awareness to it, acknowledging, we project outside that fear, which is in form of insecurity, in form of judgment, in form of projection. But it's only a mirror of the parts that want to be expressed, but we are making it wrong. Okay, so bring awareness to your triggers. Yes, and connected to the sexual energy, we have many. That is a woman in her power, because that is a woman that is connected to her body, which is the portal to wisdom, which is the portal to activate the codes that are within us, okay? Our gifts, our authenticity. Our subconscious is operating here, okay? Sometimes we try to figure out mental, but it's deeper. It is at an emotional level, at an energetic level. And that is what's dictating literally the way that we're operating in this life. Okay, how we're taking the actions, our habits, why we do or not do certain things, even if logically maybe I think I should do that. That is all the subconscious operating, okay? Beautiful. So the last hack that I want to bring is connected to surrender. This is a part that when we start to embrace within us, we're going to awaken more, because it's a feminine quality, okay? Our feminine energy. And the contrary of surrender is where we tend to operate in different ways, which is control, okay? And control comes in different ways. Control comes in form of micromanaging. Control comes in form of manipulation, judgment, excuses. So maybe trying to figure out everything, but how do I do this? Pushing yourself, struggling. That is very connected to control. And behind control, there is always a fear. But this isn't about judging this part of you. This is about also bringing and acknowledging, bringing this awareness of where control stems from. A woman, a human being that has this control mechanism, because it is a mechanism, it is because at some point in their life as a child in their environment, their environment was unpredictable, okay? There was uncertainty. So then this is when we start to develop more masculine, okay, as a woman, okay, I'm going to take the lead, I'm going to control, what are the next steps, okay? So it's not about rejecting that, okay? It's about bringing awareness to why we start developing more the masculine versus the feminine. And this is the wounded part, no? And that's why it's going to show up in form of control. So, control obviously is going to lead to burnout, to stress, and we're going to disconnect from our bodies, yes? And from our health. So this control, first of all, see where in your life, back in your childhood, there was this unpredictable environment. Maybe this looks like in not being financial stable, or maybe dad absent, or maybe the emotions were not felt, so they would project it, and it was a bit chaos in that sense. So that unpredictability later shows up in a human being that is going to micromanage, that is going to control everything. And the opposite of it is surrender. When we start to heal the patterns that made us develop this mechanism of control, when we start to heal, which comes from a deep fear, okay? When we start to heal those layers, what's going to happen is that we can start to tap into surrender, which is trusting your intuition, which is trusting also the divine timing of the things, which is taking aligned action versus forcing yourself. Aligned action is going to come from you aligning with your heart, with your love, with your mission, with your purpose, with what lights you up. And then suddenly you connect to your intuition because you are open to receive the message, and it comes in a form of idea. And from there, when you take that action and you surrender, you detach from the outcome, this is a human being that is awakening their feminine energy, and that's activating within you. Now, why is it so important in the end to start to embrace this energy and heal the fears associated to being a woman in our feminine energy? Because if we're not, it's because there are so many associations connected to fear and limitations around it, okay? So when a woman that is connected to this energy is connected to love. A woman that is connected to this energy is connected to her expression. You can feel it in her voice. You can feel it in her energy. You can feel it just in her presence. So just observe someone maybe that comes to your mind and that you connect to, or maybe they just have this playful energy, this loving energy. Of course, you're going to want to spend more time with that person. And that is what being magnetic means. That magnetism, which is confidence, comes from loving yourself. And you can't love yourself if you don't embrace the number one part of this Instagram life, which is your shadow self, which is the parts that we repressed. Because if we're making wrong parts of ourselves, who we are rejecting is us. And where there is rejection, there is no love. Yeah? Are we seeing this? So authenticity doesn't come from bringing, I'm going to bring this version of myself that I like. No, authenticity, magnetism, confidence comes from seeing your deepest fears and feeling it. Here's the thing, because what we tend to do is run away from those uncomfortable emotions. But a human being that is deeply rooted to their presence, to their strength, it doesn't come from running away from those emotions or those fears, or rejecting it, or ignoring it, or I'm just going to think positive and I'm going to tell myself I'm safe when there is a fear there. No. A human being that is connected to that energy is a person that had the courage to dive deep into themselves. Okay, so today it was about this awareness of the parts that you're making wrong. Because if we don't see them, which are connected to fears in the end, if we don't look at that fear into the eyes, we just keep running away and rejecting parts of ourselves. And if we want to connect in the end to more wholeness, fulfillment, love, joy, pleasure, it is about integrating those parts that were once made wrong. Okay? So that is the, just to recap, the 3 most important hacks that I mentioned today was embracing that shadow part, which are your fears, which are the parts that you suppressed. Start to awaken that sexual energy, which comes from healing all the connections that you have and associations and conditioning around connecting to your power, connecting to your expression, connecting to your creativity, connecting to your pleasure, sensuality. Do you feel guilty? Do you feel worthy? Do you feel loved? Do you feel you have to earn it? Do you have to perform for it, or whatever it is? See that. Okay. And number 3, observe if you are in control, because the opposite of it is surrender, which is a feminine quality. Yes, when we start to work on those 3 things, you're going to see a change. You're going to start seeing that transformation in the way that you communicate, in the way that you relate to life, in the way that you love yourself. So the more a human being that loves themselves, their standards are not here. The standards are here. So the way that they're going to experience the relationships, it's not, oh, because I fear being alone, I'm going to stay here. No, a relationship is going to be this expander. Yes, the way that they relate as well to work, it's not, I'm here in a 9-to-5 job that I hate, because no, they're going to move, they're going to experience that courage to move and start creating that which they love, whether it's in a job or in a career that already exists, whether it is creating something that is based on your uniqueness and which lights you up. That's the important, that's why, like, confidence, awakening your feminine energy, a person that is magnetic is a person that is creating a life they love on their day-to-day. They're not waiting for the weekend to live the life they love, okay? And it truly comes with courage, because sometimes, when we see people, oh, look at them, they're probably lucky. But no, it really comes from a person that is living that life is a person that had to face those fears, yes or yes. It's a person that did this work, whether it was consciously or unconsciously. Because if not, you're not truly living a life they love, okay? They're living a life that keeps them safe. And safety is not necessarily a life you love. Safety is your ego trying to keep you here, because here it's what it knows. But maybe you're yearning for more. You're yearning for a day-to-day in which you are in love with. Well, that requires courage, because there is a journey of discomfort, of facing parts of you that are not a match to that reality. And those are the parts that we tend to repress. Those are the parts that also trigger us from others when it's within us in potential. Okay, so I hope this was valuable for you to bring the awareness. And for those that want to go deeper into this, I have a healing meditation, basically to work on these parts that were repressed, these parts that were rejected, and for you to start awakening this confidence, heal those insecurities, those self-doubt, into a more confident version of yourself, into more love, okay? So if you're interested in going a step deeper, message me, okay? And just message me meditation, and I'll send you the meditation connected to this life, okay? So you can go a step deeper and you can actually embody what we just brought today in this life, okay? So for some of you that are here, see you in my Goddess Day Retreat, Goddess Circle that we have on the 22nd, which is a beautiful portal. And I love it because we're going to go actually deep the whole day into this topic, diving deep into this energy, connecting to other women, embodiment practice, guided meditations. We're going to have yoga. So we're actually like putting into practice all of this. And that is the important part, because knowledge without practice, without actually implementing, it doesn't give you result, okay? But the first step to transformation is awareness, because what many people do is, this is here, but I look here, or I run away from myself. And without awareness, which comes from self-honesty and courage, there cannot be transformation. So actually that is the most important step. And today was about awareness. Those that want to go a step deeper, you have my meditation, message me meditation, and I'll send you the link to it. And those that are joining the Goddess Day Retreat, I'm really excited to have you. And thanks for those that came to the live energy today, and those that are catching on replay. Bye bye for now, guys.